Welcome back, everyone. This is Miles, your host, and wherever you may be, thank you for tuning in at Xraised, where knowledge meets inspiration in the intricate dance of industry evolution. If you've been following along, you know we love bringing you industry leaders who are rewriting the rules of business, and today's guest is no exception. In fact, she's graced our show a couple of times. She might just be an honorary co-host at this point. We're diving into the cutting edge of legal tech today with none other than an award-winning barrister and a fearless advocate who spent her career mastering the complexities of commercial law, from renewable energy to construction law, contract disputes, and more. But her latest venture, MiAI Law, is where things get really exciting. This isn't just another AI-driven legal tool. It's about trust, compliance, and empowering lawyers with precise, verifiable research. And he's here to help us learn the legal innovation beyond AI, the MiAI Law Edge. So buckle up as we have here back on our show, the co-founder and chief executive officer of MiAI Law, all the way from Sydney, Laina Chan. Hey, Laina.
Thanks, Miles. Always a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you for being here again. You know how happy I am having you here. So thank you for joining me in this episode as we unpack the advancements you've been working on to help and empower legal practitioners with their research. And there are so many legal tech solutions out there claiming to boost efficiency, but MiAI Law is one of a kind as it places trust and compliance at the core of its innovation. Why do you primarily consider these elements non-negotiable when integrating AI into legal research?
Because it's just not negotiable, because it's simply a prerequisite to developing a tool that lawyers will trust.
Correct.
And being trustworthy and ethical is very important to me. And any product that I build also has to have those qualities built into it. Because if you don't sell trust, a trustworthy product, then you're not really helping the lawyer at all. And what we want to do is to improve efficiency gains and to make a lawyer, into 20 times what they were without our tool. But in order to do that, our product actually has to deliver what we say it delivers, which is precise, verifiable, and evidence-based answers that you can check to make sure that what we're telling you is actually something you can trust and use in your workflow.
Right, and that's hard to deliver. So in essence, it's not just about making legal research faster, it's about making it airtight, like giving lawyers an upgraded safety net, which is a whole different level of restructuring. And speaking of AI supercharging legal research, we know that at the end of the day, human judgment is irreplaceable, which we tackle in our previous episodes. But could you tell us how MiAI Law strikes the perfect balance between automation and legal expertise?
Well, AI at the moment is still developing. So we don't have perfect memory yet. We don't have super intelligence. All we have at the moment are these language models. And in our case, we have the skill of Fred, who has spent 12 years educating himself on complex AI. And I've mentioned before that, as long ago as 2017, he had developed self-driving technology and he had 8 Lexus driving around Tokyo in 2017. And he's done other things. He's done other AI projects, which together, and he's got like definitely over 13 patents, or maybe it's a 17 patent, a lot of patents, but 3 of those patents are very relevant to what we're doing. And so together with his deep ability to understand how complex AI works and those patents that he has, and the fact that the two of us communicate really well because I can share my legal expertise with him in a language that he understands, because I've also got my pure mathematics. And so over the last 10 months, which he says would have taken a normal person, I don't know, 3 years maybe, to understand the law to the point where he can actually code up the solution that I want. So we're not just relying upon a legal prompt, a user prompt that you prompt into our system, and then you hope that the LLM will go out into the database and do its best. We're not doing that. We've actually hard-coded into our system, and with code and algorithms that we've told our model what we want it to do at each step of the research process. So that is different, I think, to any of the other research products out there. From the testing that we've done We don't think that there's any deep reasoning or structured reasoning going on in the other research models that we've tried.
Well, that's clear. Actually, you and Fred complement each other's expertise, your experience and knowledge, plus his intelligence in algorithms and coding, which is a perfect combination. You're essentially giving lawyers maybe second perfect brain that organizes information but lets them, call the shots. And that's the kind of
That's
AI part.
true.
Uh-huh.
Because what we're doing is we're making a perfect version of themselves.
Uh-huh.
So you do need to know to be a lawyer. I mean, you do need to have experience, and then that informs the questions that you ask our model.
Uh-huh.
So it's harder. You can try, and you can come and ask the model cold questions on issues that you know nothing about. And the model has been trained to work out how to go about and research to find the answers. I have taught it how to do that. But it's much better if you come as already an experienced construction lawyer and you're just trying to research one particular point. And so you can use our system to hone in on that particular point and research that particular point. We can do both, but if you're already an experienced lawyer, then we'll make you even better. And if you don't have expertise, then we'll bring you up as well to that level because our system knows how to answer those general questions as well as the particular precise questions that a practitioner might have.
Yeah, so it's like a boost. And that kind of AI partnership everyone would love to see. Smart and not intrusive. And flipping the coin, Laina, based on the trends, today's clients demand more than just legal solutions. They want transparency and ethical standards, as you mentioned earlier. So how does MiAI Law ensure that its AI-driven approach builds long-term trust with both lawyers and their clients?
It comes back to the fact that, well, first of all, our sources are, well, ethical sources. We make sure that we have all the cases that are available for a particular court, that we have it in our database, right? So we've made sure that we are current all the time, so that if you're doing research, you won't find that your answer is actually wrong because we haven't taken into account the High Court case that was handed down yesterday. So we've made sure to taken steps to ensure that our database is up to date. But it's not just that we have taken the publicly available cases. What's special about our vector database is that Fred and I together have annotated all that data in a way that other people, I don't expect, will have annotated. So for example, because Fred is very curious, he has said things to me like, wouldn't you like to know how this particular law firm performs? So we track all that kind of stuff. And then they go, wouldn't you like to know how this judge behaves in a particular case? Wouldn't you like to know? So we have embedded our data with heaps and heaps of annotation. We track heaps of aspects of it that doesn't come with the case in its native form, but we take it and then we annotate it with all this additional information so that if a lawyer wants to know trends to inform their strategy, they can ask our system and we can give them that information.
Sounds cool. So the lawyer solutions are built upon a solid foundation of trust. And that's the kind of clarity every client and every lawyer wants. And disrupting an industry as traditional as law must come with its share of skepticism. Have you faced any resistance in bringing MiAI Law to the legal sector? And how have you navigated those concerns, Laina?
Well, I haven't received any skepticism from my colleagues and lawyers. They all want the product. And, and they've been asking me for the last 10 months, when is it going to be ready? And so there hasn't been that. And I thought there would be, but then I've had feedback from friends and colleagues saying, well, if it does what you say it's going to do, why wouldn't every barrister and why wouldn't every lawyer want it?
Yeah.
So it comes down to us delivering what we have promised. And if it delivers what we promise, and of course, when we deliver what we promise, then it will just become, I think, an indispensable tool to lawyers.
For sure.
We're starting with legal research, but once we've got that legal research aspect of our product perfect, then we start building up the other features so that we will start building up chronologies for you. We will help you draft documents. We will help you draft your emails, from based upon the research that you've done. Fred has got it so that on the side we have a scratch pad that you are finding your research, and then you can also have a scratch pad making a note of all the research that you have unearthed that you think will help you in drafting an email or a letter of demand, etc. So it's just been a very intuitive way, the way he has developed our system, and we can also connect to Dropbox or Google Cloud, all your documents. And of course, everything is safe and encrypted with this end-to-end encryption, which is, well, in a nutshell, military grade, impossible to hack.
I remember. And also, you mentioned lawyers are, desperate with their workflow. That's why they're okay with it. How about the one you mentioned about the VCs? That's a bit of a challenge for you.
Yes, VCs come in many different shapes and sizes, and there's one VC in particular that I love working with. He knows who he is. But he's a tech VC. He used to work at Google Cloud for 12 years. So he understands the technology behind what we're doing, and he appreciates why we're special and why we're different.
Yeah.
So he's met with both me and Fred. And so he understands. But a lot of the times, the other VCs, they don't either take the time to understand what it is about you that makes you different, special. They don't ask.
And
they just see you as a number. And all they want to do is get you for really cheap. And then they just don't take the time to bother to find out why you're different. And so there has been some who have just lumped us in with all other legal tech startups. And that's why I prepared the slide where I divided up the legal tech startups into the different types of areas that we're actually providing services in. So we have the contract review, we have the process automation, we have some alternative legal services, and then we have the legal research. And when you look at the table, the way we've set it up and partitioned it, it's very clear that at least in Australia and the Commonwealth, there's no one else trying to do, apart from LexisNexis and Thomson Reuters, legal research. But our product is different to theirs because we have reasoning, we have ranking, and it's a deep research product. And when you engage with our system, we will prepare a research report for you that we say is actually useful.
Well, at least it's a great dynamic, Laina, because lawyers see MiAI Law as a much needed solution, while VCs, as you mentioned, want to negotiate as if they need AI assistance to spot a great deal. But it also speaks volumes about the real demand for what you've built when the end users are eager. That's actually a powerful validation. And if I may ask, how do you navigate those conversations with VCs while staying true to the value your company holds?
Well, you don't have to work with every VC. It's all about finding a relationship that works for both parties. Right. It has to be a two-way street because the VCs want you to obviously become a unicorn, and they have the pressure, you're pressured to
go the other way.
And we're aligned in that way because I am just as motivated to becoming a unicorn, but you still have to work with someone that the two of you understand each other. So, that the VC has to see you. Well, what I'm looking for is the VC who sees me more than just a number and doesn't just lump me in with all the other tech startups and then confuses me with a contract review startup or a legal process automation startup, because while eventually we will be able to do all those things, at the moment we're focusing on legal research and nobody else is doing that in the Commonwealth.
Yeah. Well, I like that perspective, Laina. It's one thing to negotiate with them, but it's another to ensure they see the true impact of MiAI Law beyond just numbers on a term sheet. Because when all is said and done, the real power lies in how your technology transforms legal workflows, and that benefits more than. So let's get to the heart of it, Laina. Please let me ask this one last important question before I completely let you go back to your work. Every groundbreaking company has a core differentiator that sets them apart, Laina. What's MiAI Law's unique edge or value proposition, and how do you see it reshaping the legal industry?
I think our unique value proposition is the fact that Fred and I genuinely want to solve a problem. And that problem was identified because it was a personal pain point for me. As a barrister, I had to deal with so many documents, read so many cases, and when you're in the middle of a trial, it's just overwhelming. And I know that over time, I have read hundreds, thousands, possibly well over 100,000 cases, but I couldn't remember it. And so I wanted help for myself, and the product evolved from there. And so now we genuinely want to help not only barristers, but other lawyers and possibly, I'm sure, even law students, help them in their journey to become the best lawyer that they can be. And the fantastic thing is that we've been able to make this a reality because we've been able to fuse my legal expertise with Fred, who has the capacity and the capability to actually make this a reality. And both of us are motivated by making this the best possible product ever. So we can be described as anti-businessmen because we're not chasing the dollars. We're actually chasing delivering the best available product, like Steve Jobs. Like I've said to Fred before, the public doesn't even know what they want. We just have to build it, and then they will come and they will use it. And for him and me, we're not chasing the dollars, but for us, it's just the most important thing of all, that the product we deliver is just impeccable. And to me, I think that is what gives us our edge. With our tool, the end result is that we expect that all lawyers will be turbocharged. It will make the good lawyer even better, the not so good lawyer good. And so at every level of the hierarchy of lawyers, we are raising their capacity and we're raising their capability and turbocharging them. And one last statistic for you is that they were teaching us at Harvard just a few weeks ago that there's some study, I don't know what study, I can't remember what it was, that if you use a good AI tool, it will increase your output or increase your
Productivity.
the quality of the output by 40%. But if you use a bad tool, which is just not purpose-built and just the wrong tool for you, it actually sets you back 19%. And I think that we will be helping you more than just 40%. Our aim is to make you a 20x lawyer, 20 times the lawyer that you are, that you can be without our tool.
Yeah,
our legal research partner.
Well, you managed to pinpoint what exactly the big problem there is, or that barrier for law practitioners for them to be able to be excellent at what they do. And I love what you said. You're definitely here to turbocharge the capability of lawyers and address the growing need in expediting and making more accurate legal research, which no one has yet to deliver. And as usual, that's awesome, Laina. I might have said it before, but every time you're here, I really feel like we get a glimpse into the future of law. And it's looking smarter, faster, and more transparent. That's why we love featuring you here on Xraised. So folks, to those of you watching or listening right now, if you're a legal professional looking to elevate your research game with AI that actually works for you, type in miai.law in your browser, get started with MiAI Law, and join their beta user waitlist now. If any of you is an investor thinking about the future of legal tech, well, you might want to act fast before you miss out on something big that Laina has. So that's a wrap on this episode of Xraised. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more deep dives with industry pioneers like Laina. Until our next episode, this has been your host, Miles. Stay focused and inspired with Xraised.